Hi, it's a corn film. Today I'm going to tell you story of the 2019 The Informer. The movie begins with a scene where the main character, Pit Kozlow, is sewing something resembling a bug into his pants. Suddenly, Pit receives a call from Stashik, his friend or rather colleague. They have a meeting with some daddy tomorrow, so both of them need to be in top form. The main character, Pit, suggests to his daughter to go for a hike and rushes to wake up his mother, which is a distraction for his daughter. We have 20 minutes, it's time to go. In the night city, FBI Special Agent Erica Wilcox races through the streets in his car, while talking on the phone with his colleague about the general. Kozlow must bring them to him, and a raid is planned. The FBI intends to capture drug lord Richard Klimek and his gang, as they are one of the main importers of colorful candies. Among Klimek's gang, the FBI has their own man, his main transporter Pit Kozlow, a former soldier who served time for involuntary manslaughter, who must provide evidence for this case. That night, Pit promises his wife that he will return, and as soon as it's over, they will leave. At an abandoned gas station, Pit meets Wilcox, and they agree on the deal. Wilcox tells Pit the details. The code phrase to help Pit is request for a cigarette. In the morning, Kozlow and Stashik are heading to Richard Klimek's place. First, they go to the airport to meet a person who works for Klimek and has brought a suitcase with drugs. They collect the case, get into the car, and hit the road. Wilcox and other agents follow them. Things don't go according to plan. An unexpected buyer appears, so the trip to Klimek is postponed. Wilcox follows Pit's van. The client assures Stashik and Pit that he will take everything they have. However, he starts getting nervous and gives them 2 hours to find $85,000 for 3 kilograms of fentanyl. After a few questions, Pit realizes that the client is a cop, but he denies it. Pit tries to make the cop leave, but Stashik kills him. Pit and the others arrive at a strange workshop where they meet Klimek. Pit talks to Klimek, who is not too happy that the cop was killed. Klimek considers Kozlow a debtor because Stashik saved his life. Pit needs to get into prison to deliver the drugs there and control everything from the inside. Kozlow will be able to get out in 5 years, and then he'll be free. When he returned home, Kozlow argues with his wife Sophia, accusing her of not protecting their daughter. The murdered cop is found dead on the riverbank. The NYPD suspects that the Poles are involved, namely Klimek, the same general. Kozlow meets with Wilcox and her boss. Kozlow wants out of the game, but they want to act according to the general's rules. They guarantee his freedom if he provides them with evidence. Otherwise, he'll have to serve at least 12 years. He has no choice but to agree to everything. Pit prepares a plan to get back into prison, but Agent Wilcox refuses to help him with that. Pit says goodbye to his daughter, sending her out to play, and then he and his wife begin their plan. They simulate domestic violence, violating Pit's probation terms. The cops come and take him away. Pit is sent to prison, where he is welcomed as one of their own, at the general's orders. He has no problems there. The next day, the new rivals are assigned their tasks. Kozlow is assigned to repair the roof, just as he requested. The cops also conduct a search, which works to Kozlow's advantage, as the goods will arrive soon. Meanwhile, federal agents are talking to the New York Police Department about Kozlow. A detective suspects something strange about the case. Kozlow is also involved in this strange case. He shows the detective photographs from the crime scene with pictures of Pit and the car with Wilcox. Pit goes to work on the roof. He finds a bird that Sophia and Klimek's gang threw there that night. A detective from the New York Police Department meets with Sophia and tries to get information from her, but she doesn't cooperate. Meanwhile, in prison, Pit is given an earpiece, and he talks to Detective Grins, who tells him he needs to talk to him. Pit is beaten to near death and almost hanged for selling drugs on someone else's territory. Pit confesses that he is there to cover up the general's activities and admits that he is an informant. Pit is given a chance to speak and talks about how when the general is covered up, The main drug supplier in the prison will become the sole provider. The feds find out that Grenz was in prison and are worried that Koslow will interfere in their case. Agent Wilcox is ordered to eliminate Koslow, but she is against it because they gave him guarantees. Wilcox is being told that if she continues to be guided by warm feelings towards Pete, it will destroy her and her career. Wilcox doesn't want to kill an innocent person, but they threaten her with prison. She must carry out this order and get rid of Pitt. Pitt is given a note that seems to contain the names of everyone involved in the general's drug distribution. Pitt asks Leonard, a prison employee who works for Klimkov, to transfer him to a solitary cell, but he refuses because those are the rules. Pitt calls Wilcox with this information, but she hangs up on him without listening. So, Pitt calls Sophia, his wife, and tells her it's time to use Plan B because he has been set up and won't be able to get out of there. Sophia tells him about Grenz, who promised to help, and that she must give him all the recordings, but he must promise to protect Sophia and Anna. They both need to escape. Wilcox comes to Anzig with information about Pitt, which means Pitt is now in danger of being eliminated. Wilcox comes to Sophia while she was collecting Pitt's recordings. She takes all the recordings and gives Sophia money, telling her to leave with Anna. Wilcox listens to Pitt's recordings and realizes she constantly guaranteed Pitt's protection. Returning to the room, Pitt is given a sign that clearly means it's the end for him. He realizes that his cellmate is attacking him and his sharpening is gone. They engage in a fight and Pitt ends up strangling him. The guards notice that Pitt is dragging the dead prisoner and sound the alarm throughout the prison. Pitt stabs a guard near his temple with the sharpening and demands to speak with the press, threatening to kill the guard. He manages to make his way to another floor using the guard's keys, breaking the lock on the door, and plans his next move. Meanwhile, Stashik and his partner arrive at Pitt's house with 2 cans of gasoline. Anna was playing outside, but Sophia took her inside, hoping it would keep them safe. It seems like the end for them when Stashik breaks into the house. The authorities find out what's going on in the prison and want to put an end to it. They can't let Koslov talk to the press. Meanwhile, Pitt notices that the police and fire trucks have arrived at the building. He constructs something strange that he hopes will help him. Detective Grenz goes to Koslov's house, where his wife and daughter are, and kills one of the general's men. He enters the room where Sophia is tied up. Stashik shoots Grenz in the leg while holding an hostage and using her as a shield. Stashik aims at Grenz and threatens to cut his tongue like he did to his girlfriend. Suddenly, Sophia shoots Stashik. He falls and shoots her in the shoulder. Grenz kills Stashik. Meanwhile, Pitt watches as the feds arrive at the prison. They try to talk to him through the door and offer him to call his wife. Pitt assures Sophia that everything will be okay, and answers the phone and asks him to come back. But Pitt tells her he loves her and hangs up. Koslow drags his hostage with him, using him as cover to pass through every window in the room. He changes into his clothes and approaches the window again. The federal mistakes the hostage for Pitt and orders to shoot. The sniper shoots the hostage and hits a gas canister, causing a huge explosion. Wilcox arrives at the prison and sees the scene of the fire. Firefighters try to save the survivor, not realizing it's Pitt. Wilcox notices that it's actually Pitt, and they take him to the hospital with her. Wilcox leaves a gun for Pitt, but when he gets out, he points the gun at her. She writes him a note and hands over all her documents. Pitt orders Wilcox to handcuff herself to the others. Pitt runs towards the city. Wilcox talks to a federal agent and tells him about Pitt. She gives him Pitt's address, as she cannot get out of this situation until Pitt is alive. But this turns out to be a trap. The police, along with Detective Grenz, arrest the federal agent. Meanwhile, Pitt is supposed to meet with his wife and daughter, accompanied by Wilcox. She points out the federal agents nearby. Grenz approaches him, gives him documents, and tells him that he needs to lay low for a month until they finish the case. He promises that Pitt will see his family. Sophia sees Pitt and he leaves. The federal agents go after him, but he manages to escape. Our summary of the movie comes to an end here. Don't forget to subscribe on our channel. See you in the next video. Love you.